I will teach you how to feel it. I will teach you how to feel it. Just hear it, not just know it, but feel it, because seem to whisper, not because life doesn't change when you think differently. It changes when you feel differently. Transformation does not begin in the mind alone. It starts in the bones, in the breath, in the silence behind your words. To whisper not, I will teach you how to feel it. The pulse beneath your purpose, the fire inside your fear, the whisper in your worry that says, this too is love. Most people numb what hurts and wonder why they don't feel alive. But you are meant to touch the whole experience, the joy and the the clarity and the confusion. Because when you feel deeply, you live fully. You stop chasing the moment, and you become the moment. You don't run from your shadows. You learn to dance with them in candlelight. Feeling is power, and I will teach you to stop fearing your own. Most of us were taught to hide our emotions, to tuck them away behind silence or sarcastic detachment. Not. We were told that feeling too much made us unstable, that showing vulnerability made us weak, that tears were something to be ashamed of. But the truth is, emotion is not the enemy of strength. It is the guide to our strength. Emotions are not distractions from logic. They are the deeper intelligence that logic cannot touch. They arise before thought, before language, before explanation. They are raw signals from the soul that something within us is being stirred, awakened, challenged, or honored. When you're angry, it may be your boundary asking to be heard. When you're sad, it may be your heart mourning something sacred. When you feel joy, it's your alignment shining through. Every emotion is a message, a direction, a compass pointing towards something real and alive inside you. To ignore it is to lose your way. To suppress it is to silence the very part of you that's trying to keep you connected to truth. Emotions are not irrational. They are reactions to your deepest values being touched. They come from what you care about. You only feel deeply when something deeply matters to you. Feeling does not mean you're falling apart. It means you're alive enough to be moved. It means your heart hasn't hardened to the world. It means you're not just going through the motions. You're present enough to be impacted by life. It is not a weakness to be moved by beauty, or shaken by loss, or ignited by purpose. It is not fragile to feel everything fully. It is a mark of great inner strength, because it takes courage to stay open in a world that constantly tells you to close, seem to whisper not. It takes bravery to feel through the noise, through the fear, through the uncertainty, and still follow what stirs your heart. Feeling is not just the experience of emotion, it is the doorway into the present moment. When you are truly feeling something, you are no longer trapped in the loops of yesterday or projections of tomorrow. You are here, fully, entirely, unapologetically. And in that presence, there is a kind of power that cannot be manufactured or pretended. It is a power that comes from alignment, from being rooted in what is, rather than what should have been or might be. Presence allows you to meet life as it is, without filter, without performance, without avoidance. To feel deeply is to be in the body, in the breath, in the now. It is to listen with more than your ears, to see with more than your eyes, to know, to whisper, know with more than your mind. You begin to touch reality in a way that thinking alone cannot reach. Feeling connects you to what is unfolding in real time, beneath the roles, beneath the noise, beneath the endless distractions. It brings you into intimacy with the moment, with others, with yourself. It sharpens your awareness and strips away the superficial. And in that stripped-down clarity, you find yourself raw, unedited, awake. When you are present, you're not rehearsing life, you are living it. You're not seeking the perfect line, the right move, or the safest way. You are in it, breathing it, responding from a place that's alive and intuitive. You stop needing permission to be, because you realize that existence itself is permission enough. Presence makes space for truth to emerge, for clarity to speak, for instincts to guide. It softens the mind and opens the heart. And in that open-hearted state, you stop trying to control everything and start feeling your way through moment by moment. This kind of feeling isn't reactive. It's receptive. It doesn't just explode in emotion. It listens, absorbs, reflects. It's not about dramatizing experience, but deepening into it. When you're present with what you feel, you don't get lost in it. you find the root of it. And when you touch that root, you reclaim power. Not the power that dominates or defends, but the power that knows, the power that sees clearly and responds wisely. There is a quiet kind of pain that lingers in the background of our lives, not because it's too loud, but because we've tried so hard to silence it. We pretend it's gone, bury it beneath business, disguise it with humor, or numb it with distraction. But the truth is, what we do not feel, we do not heal. Pain does not dissolve through denial, it waits. It waits beneath the surface of our smiles, woven into our habits, hidden in the choices we make without knowing why. It echoes through our relationships, reveals itself in our triggers, and whispers in moments of stillness when the distractions fade. To heal is not to run from what hurts, but to face it with presence, to sit with it without trying to escape or fix it too quickly. It means allowing the wound to speak, not in the language of blame or shame, but in the language of truth. Pain arises not to punish us, but to be acknowledged. And acknowledgement is not weakness. It is an act of sacred courage. Feeling the pain you've avoided is not regression. It's the beginning of return. Return to your body, your breath, your story, yourself. Many people confuse healing with forgetting. But healing isn't about erasing the past. It's about integrating it. It's not about pretending the wound never happened, but about no longer being controlled by it. And that begins when we allow ourselves to feel fully, honestly, unapologetically, even if it's messy, even if it's inconvenient, even if we don't yet know how to name it. Because only when we feel the weight of what we've carried can we learn how to set it down. Grief must be grieved. Anger must be honored. Fear must be heard. They are not obstacles to healing. They are the healing. To feel them is to clear the fog, to unlock the story beneath the surface, to connect with the parts of ourselves we left behind while trying to survive. And in that connection, we begin to reclaim what we lost, in not just peace, but power, not just clarity, but compassion, not just survival, but wholeness. There is an intelligence that lives in the heart, quiet, intuitive, and deeply ancient. Long before the mind forms its arguments, the heart has already whispered the truth. Before logic lays out its reasons, before words are found to explain what we're feeling, the heart sends a signal, a pulse, a knowing. It is not loud. It does not demand attention like thoughts do, but it is unwavering. It's the feeling in your chest when something is off, even if everything looks perfect on the outside. It's the warmth in your body when you're near someone who feels like home, even if you've just met. It's the deep sense of peace or discomfort that rises without cause or explanation, and yet proves right time and time again. We live in a world that worships the mind and sidelines the heart. We are taught to trust facts over feelings, data over instinct, outcomes over alignment. But what the mind often forgets, the heart remembers. The heart isn't confined by logic. It lives in alignment with truth. It senses energy, intention, resonance. It recognizes what words can't articulate. The mind may take hours, days, even years to come to conclusions that the heart arrived at in seconds. Because the heart does not need evidence, it only needs honesty. And when we slow down enough to listen, its wisdom is undeniable. The heart knows when to stay, when to go, when something is for you, and when it's slowly breaking you. It knows the difference between real and convenient, between connection and attachment. To whisper, not. It knows when you're forcing something that was never meant to fit, and it also knows when you've found something rare, even if you're not ready for it. That knowing doesn't always make sense to the mind. It can't be put into formulas or defended with logic. But it doesn't have to be. The heart's wisdom is not here to prove itself. It's here to guide you. When we learn to trust it, we move through life differently. We stop chasing what looks good and start following what feels right. We stop silencing our inner truth just to meet outside expectations. We begin to honor the messages that come not from overthinking, but from inner clarity. This isn't about abandoning reason. It's about integrating a deeper kind of intelligence that can't be quantified, but is always felt. To whisper, the kind of knowing that arrives in silence, that feels like peace in the middle of chaos, that says yes before your mind has a chance to doubt. Pain is not the enemy. It is the messenger. It arrives uninvited, unwelcome, and often misunderstood, but it carries something sacred within it. Most people spend their lives trying to avoid pain, to numb it, outrun it, suppress it, or distract from it. But pain that is avoided does not disappear. It burrows deeper. It embeds itself in the body, the breath, the nervous system, waiting for the moment it can be acknowledged. It lingers in our choices, in our reactions, in the way we love or hold back from love. It becomes the silent architect of our lives when it goes unspoken. Yet, when we finally stop resisting it, when we stop trying to cover it up with false positivity or busy routines, something shifts. When pain is felt fully, it begins to move. It stops being stagnant energy and starts to transform. Pain is not meant to be a permanent residence. It's meant to be a passage and theme to whisper, and feeling it fully is the bridge from suffering to strength. It's not about wallowing or drowning in sorrow. It's about allowing the energy of pain complete its cycle through your being. It's about giving your heart permission to grieve, to rage, to shake, to sob, to tremble, without apology. There is a quiet alchemy that happens when you don't rush your healing, when you allow pain to speak its language without needing to translate it into something pretty. In that sacred space of raw feeling, you begin to uncover truths you didn't know you were holding. You see your own resilience in real time. You witness how your heart, though broken, keeps beating. You discover a strength that is not about perfection, but about presence. A power that does not come from overcoming pain, but from embracing it and surviving anyway. This transformation cannot be forced or fabricated. It is organic. When pain is honored, it begins to soften. When it is felt, it begins to release. And in its place, something new grows. Something rooted in compassion, in courage, in clarity. Pain becomes the teacher. It shows you where you still hold wounds, where you still need love, where you still believe you're unworthy. And as you meet those places with feeling, you begin to reclaim yourself. Not the version of you that's untouched by pain, but the version of you that has walked through fire and come out honest, open, and alive. When you allow yourself to truly feel, you begin to dissolve the illusion of separateness. You realize that beneath the surface of different lives, languages, cultures, and stories, there is a shared emotional landscape that binds all of us together. Joy, sorrow, fear, longing, hope, grief. These are not isolated experiences, they are universal bridges. The moment you stop numbing yourself to your own heart, you start to feel the heartbeat of the world. Empathy awakens not through ideas, but through feeling. You don't need to understand someone's exact story to feel the ache in their voice, the weight in their silence, the tenderness in their eyes. Emotion becomes the thread that stitches your soul to the souls of others. Feeling strips away the walls we build, walls of judgment, walls of performance, walls of ego. When you feel deeply, you see beyond appearances. You no longer meet people as roles or categories or concepts. You meet them as fellow travelers, carrying invisible burdens just like you. You begin to recognize yourself in others, in their laughter, their struggle, their silence. This kind of connection isn't forged through surface conversation. It's born in presence, in vulnerability, in shared emotional truth. And that kind of connection changes everything. It softens how you speak. It deepens how you listen. It reminds you that beneath all of our differences, we are made of the same elements: flesh, bone, breath, and the longing to be seen. Feeling also reconnects you to the natural world. You stop walking past the sunrise like it's ordinary. You stop rushing through rainstorms, annoyed and distracted. Instead, you start to feel the sacredness in small moments: the wind brushing your skin, the sound of birdsong in the morning, the way a tree stands in quiet majesty without needing to prove anything. You begin to realize that you are not separate from the earth, you are of it. You start to feel how everything is connected in a silent, breathing web of aliveness. And when you live from that place, life no longer. Manifestation doesn't begin with vision boards, affirmations, or goal setting. It begins with the core of what you believe you are worthy of receiving. The universe responds not to your words, but to your vibration. And your vibration is not shaped by what you wish for, it is shaped by what you feel you deserve. You can say you want love, abundance, success, peace. But if deep down you don't
Alright, so
feel
like
like
to
you're enough,
summarize
if there's a
all
part of you still
summarize and just
holding on to
make that very
shame, guilt,
address what's
unworthiness,
what
or fear of being seen, then your energy is not aligned with what you're asking for. There is a quiet contradiction within, and that contradiction is what delays or distorts the flow. You can't manifest from lack and expect fullness. You can't magnetize your dreams while secretly believing you're not ready, not capable, not chosen. The frequency of your life is always broadcasting, even when your mouth is silent. You may try to convince yourself with positive thinking, but if the emotional charge beneath your intentions is rooted in doubt, insecurity, or scarcity, then that is the deeper message you are emitting. The truth is, you will only allow in as much goodness, love, freedom, and expansion as you feel safe holding. And safety is created from a sense of inner worth, not perfection, but permission. The permission to believe that you are not too broken, too late, or too small for the life you envision. To truly manifest, you must first feel it in your bones that what you desire is not a fantasy, it is a reflection of what your soul already recognizes as possible. That vision you hold isn't random, it's memory from the future echoing backward. But it can only become real when you feel internally congruent with it. That means going into the deeper places, healing the parts of you that were taught to settle, to shrink, to apologize for wanting more. It means tending to the beliefs that were passed down to you about what you're allowed to have, what's realistic, and what's too much. Because manifestation isn't about forcing the universe into your timeline. It's about becoming a vessel that can naturally receive the things already orbiting you. When you start to believe that your presence is enough, that your desires are sacred, that your joy doesn't have to be earned through suffering, your entire frequency begins to shift. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop gripping and start trusting. The more you embody the feeling of worthiness, the more aligned your outer reality becomes with your inner knowing. Life meets you where you meet yourself, and when you finally decide that you are worthy, not because of what you've done, but because of who you are, you unlock a level of manifestation that is effortless, expansive, and deeply aligned with the truth of your being. So as you begin to feel more, you begin to remember more, not facts, but truths. Truths buried beneath survival, truths wrapped in silence, truths that were always waiting for your return. You remember that feeling is not a flaw, but a form of freedom. That your emotions are not something to fix, they are something to follow. And as you follow them with tenderness, with courage, with presence, you start to walk differently through the world. You stop performing and start embodying. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop hiding and start living, because when you feel it fully, freely, fearlessly, you don't just heal, you become